Michelle Obama announces tragic personal news. We're going to get into some of that tragic news. We're also going to get into another famous commentator saying she should run for president, which they will not give that up. There's actually clues. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Now, the tragic personal news is that she lost her mother. Her mother's 86 years old. She was not political. It actually tells you something about why Michelle probably does not want to run for president. Remember, if she wants to run, she could have it. Democrats would give it to her. They all agree. So why isn't she running? That's all you got to know is what if she really likes being a Hollywood celebrity, living in her ocean mansions and not being in the White House? She just never came off as an attention hog to me. I also think as her political enemy, she is the political enemy. I still don't mock someone when they lose their mother. We don't do that. I pray for her. We pray for our enemies. We pray for them because if I lost my mother, my mom's still alive, but if I lost my mom, I would not want my political opponents to come and do donuts on my yard and make fun of me. So here we go. Let's get to CNN's coverage first.
Mother of former First Lady Michelle Obama, Marion Robinson, has died at the age of 86.
Okay, so that's the big announcement. Moving on.
A little bit of what they wrote, they said Marion Lewis Shields Robinson, our mother-in-law, and grandmother, had a way of summing up the truths about life in a word or two, maybe a quick phrase that made everyone around her stop and think.
So this shows her influence and her wisdom on the family. This is going somewhere, I swear. Because I think there's something about the mom that influenced Michelle that keeps Michelle from wanting to run for president.
Hard-earned, fashioned by her deep understanding that the world's roughest edges could always be sanded down with a little grace. And certainly that is a lesson and a message she will have imparted on her daughter, her son-in-law.
Okay, so they've now said that's imparted on her daughter. Those words, by the way, were the collected statement by Michelle Obama about her mom. Just saying she was full of grace and she, sanded off the rough edges of life.
They say in this statement it took a healthy nudge, as they said, to get her to move to the White House at all. But in the end, they really describe her as recognizing the importance that would have in raising grounded children.
Okay, she only went to the White House to help raise her grandchildren. She was reluctant to move to the White House from Chicago. That's important. She hates the White House. I think her daughter also just doesn't like it.
They say that rather than hobnobbing with Oscar winners or Nobel laureates, she preferred spending her time upstairs with a TV tray in the room outside her bedroom with big windows that looked out over the Washington Monument.
Okay, so this is a humble person. This is not a fancy schmancy person. I think not that I think Michelle Obama is necessarily humble. I don't know. I just think she's into the stardom of Hollywood and cultural and money. I don't think she's into the stardom of being the president. That's not the kind of power she likes. She's not proud of this country.
And this is so interesting. They say the only guest that she ever asked to meet while she was living in the White House was the Pope.
Now, that's telling also that this woman, probably Catholic background, wants to meet the Pope or whatever. Of all the leaders she could meet, she did not want to meet a Hollywood star like George Clooney or Ethan Hawke or Julia Roberts, the people whom the Obamas cast in their Netflix movie, a bunch of stars. The mom wanted to meet the Pope.
That her father, because of the color of his skin, wasn't allowed to join a union.
That goes into the mother's dad was not allowed to be hired and join the union, which just goes to show the Democrats were in control of the unions even back then.
She would, as was said, she did not take to the whole celebrity lifestyle. She kind of shunned that. And she would often slip out of the White House on her own and visit with friends outside the White House. She really wasn't looking for attention, and she was. And she, as soon as the administration was over, she headed right back to the South Side of Chicago.
The South Side of Chicago, like bad Leroy Brown. That's David Axelrod, by the way, saying she wanted nothing to do with the White House. As soon as the Obamas were done with Washington, D.C., she moved right back to South Side Chicago. So I think these values are part of what makes Michelle. Michelle loves the limelight. I don't think she loves Washington, D.C. limelight. Now, more rumors still. on the Hill. Stephen A. Smith. Now, you guys have all seen Stephen A. Smith on, he's like an ESPN sports commentator and has his own podcast, Stephen A. Smith Show. Michelle Obama would hands down be next president if she ran. I missed this from him. Let's see if he has any good reasons behind it. But this is another thing. People are just begging anyone to come in and rescue Joe Biden. I don't believe it's going to be Michelle Obama. I believe it would be Gavin Newsom. But Stephen A. Smith says, sports commentator Stephen A. Smith said he thinks that if former First Lady Michelle Obama ran for president in 2024 election, she would hands down beat former president.
I think that Michelle Obama would hands down be the next president of the United States if she were to run against Trump.
Now, this is weird to me because I think a lot of people have been smelling too much paint thinner. I think they believe culture. When culture keeps telling everyone, oh, Michelle, she's so fashionable. Michelle Obama, she's so wonderful. She's so graceful. That's, to me, when I see her, and I'm putting all this, you're my political enemy aside. She's frumpy, grumpy. She has said, for the first time, I'm proud to be an American when Barack Obama won the presidency. I think that's a terrible thing to say. I think she hates America. Very much DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion type person, very woke. I think she's disgusted with America overall and makes a lot of money off her houses. And that value is stuck deep in her heart. That's my take on her. I think she's incredibly unlikable. I don't think she's a vulnerable, giving, loving person. I think she's very stoic. I think she's very quiet. I think she's very protective and reserved. She does not come off to me as graceful, as a princess, as happy, as jolly, as wonderful, the way Stephen A. Smith sounds like it would just be a slam dunk.
I say this to say, how far are we from a woman president?
If the FBI director at the time, James Comey, hadn't come in with some shit about Hillary in email, I think you would have had a female president in 2016.
Smith appeared on former NBA player Kevin Garnett's podcast, KG Certified, where he was asked how close he thinks the United States is to having a female leader. He told Garnett he believed if former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign wasn't tarnished by the email controversy, America, quote, would have had a female president in 2016, unquote, adding that he thinks she was that close. Man, I don't believe that at all. Again, Stephen, you don't get it. She's one of the most unlikable people in the world. And I think that Michelle Obama would win right now if she were to run. Now, that obviously is not going to happen. She doesn't seem to have an interest. That's what we're going on. She ain't running, guys. But we mourn with her the loss of her mom. I'm Doug in Exile.